Coming up, author and journalist Adrienne Bankert joins me on her new book about kindness.
I wanted to make it profoundly known in a very simple, practical way that kindness is the one thing that every corporation and entrepreneur and nurse and mama and daddy and uncle and cousin and people of every diverse background, every gender can use.
From the anchor desk in Sacramento to the national stage on Good Morning America and ABC News, and leading with kindness along the way.
When we're all shouting or we're all saying different things, I thought, how do we stop the madness? The one universal language we all speak is kindness. The one thing that refreshes us all is kindness. The one thing that is truly inclusive is kindness. But if you will follow your own heart's cry through kindness, you will actually come up with genuine solutions that will help someone. And if you help one person, that's a huge start.
And now, Rob on the Road, exploring Northern California.
Hi there, and welcome to Rob at Home. I'm Rob Stewart. It is great to see you here on PBS KDIE. Thank you for tuning in. Joining us is a very familiar face and friend to Northern California, Adrienne Bankert. It is so good to see you with ABC News correspondent. You see her on Good Morning America. I just saw you on The View talking about your new book.
And I'm so excited that you were able to read my book. I'm so excited to share it with the world because we need kindness more than ever, and we need to see how powerful it is. It is not just being polite.
Well, the title of the book says it so much. It is Your Hidden Superpower. Your Hidden Superpower.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me so much that who we fundamentally can be and should be is a choice. That's hard to say in a time when it is such a difficult time, right?
The only way out is perspective. You know, at some point we have to all create our own light at the end of the tunnel. I was talking to one of the women I mentor, and she was breaking down. She was saying, I feel like nothing's happening in my life. I feel like, you know, I don't have any opportunities. I am stuck. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not making progress. And she was getting very depressed. And I said, okay, I want to give you a little tip that I've given myself many times. You have a choice to make. Are you only going to be dancing on clouds and joyful and excited and anticipating good things happening to you when everything around you is going perfect? So that as soon as things get hard, and I know they're very hard, not minimizing that, as soon as things get challenging, you quit? Do you think this is the last time things will get hard? You have a choice to make. Don't be fickle. Remember your loyalties. Remember what you care about. Remember who you are. Remember that people have helped you and they'll help you again. And a big message of kindness is being able to, number one, be kind to yourself. Give yourself those pep talks as if you were encouraging a friend, being a friend to yourself. But also, kindness makes you memorable. And the kindness you've shown to others will come back to you because people will remember that you were kind to them, and that will return to you. That's powerful.
It's powerful because if it's real, it will lead you through the path of life that you're meant to walk, regardless of where you are when you begin it. If you have, like me, made many mistakes or steps in the wrong direction,
yeah, we all have.
You take that step into the right direction, and that right direction is just inside of you. It tells you. It's that kindness cord, right?
I love the way you're describing it because I describe it as like we're all stars, we're all celestial beings in a way, that we have an orbit. We have our individual orbit, that path already marked out for us. I like to say, I think I mentioned it in the book, that kindness helps you remember or to acknowledge that the metal detector for the treasure, that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for yourself, is inside of you, and so is the map. And so as you are kind, you are taking those intentional steps that will connect the dots to create that treasure map that will ultimately lead you to your highest ambitions. That's the power.
That's powerful. And that's what you mean by your hidden superpower.
Yeah, it's inside of you. You have everything you need right now. Your kind self is your highest and best self. Whenever people would say, because it became kind of trendy, you know, live your best life, be your best self, but I don't think any of us really knew what that meant. I didn't.
I didn't either. In fact, I think that a lot of people who were putting that out there genuinely were trying to live it, but it was what they wanted to see as their best life.
Yeah.
And in all reality, our best life is already inside of us, calling us to be kind, and they'll find the map right there.
You have the DNA inside of you right now to be the best you, because you will never be duplicated. You will never be imitated. For the rest of all history, for the rest of all time, we will never see another you. And when you know that, like you know your thumbprint is your own and it can never be duplicated, then there's no competition. You cannot be compared to another human being, and the impact and the influence and the gift that you bring being so uniquely special. You know, everybody's like supposed to be special right now, but I really sat there and thought as I was writing the book, well, what makes us so special? And it's that when we are 100% authentic, we're something the world has never seen, and we can bring answers and solutions that the world has never experienced. Just by being
so good. Say that again. When you are 100% authentic, you bring solutions and who you are to the world, something that's never been seen.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good, Adrienne.
And it's by being kind, because your kind self is your best self. So as you take those steps to serve your neighbor, to serve a stranger, to serve those your loved ones, those you care about, you are acting in that 100% authenticity. And so you create muscle memory for knowing the right thing to do at the right time. Part of what I write about in the book is that kindness develops a sixth sense in you. It's very intuitive when you're following a warm impulse, like somebody comes across your mind and says, and the thought occurs to you, I haven't talked to them in a while, I should call them. Well, a lot of people ignore that warm impulse. They think, oh, well, you know, I'm busy, or they get distracted, right? But when you call that person, it creates a domino effect of action that might not be taken if you didn't follow that warm impulse. And so as I followed those impulses to call someone when I think about them, or send them an email or send them a card, I actually developed the intuition for my own life, so that when I'm in crossroads experiences, I can listen to the little voice inside of me to know what's right and what's wrong.
I talked to my mom right before this, and I was telling her about you and interviewing you, and I said, what, you know, and I said the book is Your Hidden Superpower. It's about kindness. And she said, Rob, everywhere I go, people are desperately searching from behind their masks a way to connect and to see kindness in others. They're just searching for it.
Wow.
And you do see that in people's eyes as we're wearing the mask with the pandemic for COVID-19. You also hear about people who are just starved of kindness. What do you say about that?
Well, first of all, thank your mama for saying that so beautifully, because I think the first thing that I thought, especially as we became isolated during the pandemic in the very beginning, I realized how much my heart needed people. And I mean, it was almost like my heart was breaking because I wasn't around the same people, meaning not just my family and friends, the strangers, the people who would become fast friends in the grocery checkout line, who I just met in a moment, just connected with in conversation, because you walked outside and nobody made eye contact. And I say that I really believe in my heart of hearts that we're all born kind, that we are all meant to be kind. It's literally our chromosomal deep identity. And then life is unkind. And we become hurt and we become the walking wounded, is what I said. And I think there's a lot of walking wounded. And when people talk to me often about this book, they're excited about the idea of kindness, but oftentimes they still mitigate it or relegate it to that elementary idea of kindness. And I say, listen, it's not just, oh, do something nice for someone today, buy them a coffee. It's you don't know how much that person behind the mask across the country that you virtually, buy coffee for, Cash App them or Venmo them, you do not know how much that phone call means to them, to give them breath in their lungs, to give them a sense that they're being cared for, to give them hope in humanity. Being kind can give somebody that what seems small, some glimpse that there is still hope. And that's what we all need right now. I will tell you this, that what kindness has done for me in times of personal crisis, I've had to re-employ in times of global crisis, when emotions and anger and frustration and isolation and fear is raging. And every single person watching this has had those feelings happen inside of themselves for their own personal tragedies. That is when kindness kept my head in the game. That's why I say that kindness keeps you innovative. The world is demanding solutions. The world is asking for people to be kind under pressure. Rather than me trying to say, okay, how do I fix all of these problems? Or how do I cope? Or how do I deal? Who does your heart cry out for? Who is your heart breaking for? And I would have brainstorming sessions in my apartment in the effort to specifically target who my heart was breaking for in that moment. And when I did that, I said, okay, I'm going to turn kindness into innovation. And I'm going to just brainstorm all the wild ideas. And I'm going to see if there's anything that I can sift through here to lead to an authentic form of solution making. What people don't want to do is feel obligated to do anything. They don't want to be obligated to give. They don't want to be obligated to fix. But if you will follow your own heart's cry through kindness, you will actually come up with genuine solutions that will help someone. And if you help one person, that's a huge start.
I want to ask you, where did you get this gift? Because in talking to you, I see that it is so real. This is not just something you did. This is who you are. It really is.
Yeah. And that's the book, to be quite honest with you. People tell me, oh, it's a kindness book. Well, no, it's really an identity book. Because if I
can... a universal language. It's an identity book in a universal language that you can apply to any area of your life.
Yes, exactly. And I wanted to make it profoundly known in a very simple, practical way that kindness is the one thing that every corporation and entrepreneur and nurse and mama and daddy and uncle and cousin and people of every diverse background, every gender can use as a universal language of communication. When we're all shouting or we're all saying different things, I thought, how do we stop the madness? The one universal language we all speak is kindness. The one thing that refreshes us all is kindness. The one thing that is truly inclusive is kindness. A big part of kindness is you doing what's right, even when people may question why you're doing it. Just do what's right and stop trying to please people and stop trying to get validation, because it doesn't matter. It's not about them. You're kind because of who you are, not because of what they did.
And when you lead with your kindness and when you lead with love, then you don't need the validation of someone else, because you are internally quenched knowing that you're following that.
Yeah, and it's as if like you brushed your teeth today and we're looking for validation. You're not looking for validation. You brushed your teeth. Yeah. Like, this is what you do. It's like you have a puppy and you have to take the puppy for a walk because that's what the puppy needs. It needs exercise. It needs to use the potty or whatever. And you're not getting validation for that, but that's because you know that's a part of what you do. You take the dog out. Working out, exercising. Most people aren't looking for validation. And I call kindness my fitness plan. I need to work on the real fitness plan. I mean that most people see kindness as something that's right and a good idea, and we should all be it, and we should all know better. And I see kindness as working us out. Kindness becomes my personal coach for helping me develop a muscle memory for kindness. It leads to knee-jerk responses of kindness that become automatic, like brushing your teeth, like working out for someone who does it Monday through Friday and has a Saturday cheat day or something. It becomes a rhythm. And when kindness is my fitness, when I do something that's unkind, then I know it and I feel that and I say, oh, not quite there yet in that area. Let me work on kindness. I say in the book that kindness will show you where you are unkind. Being kind is using your conscience for other people's benefit. So I would touch on this to help people who are watching, because so many of us, the dream has completely been shaken and turned inside out. what we thought we were going to be doing at this stage of our career, at this stage of life, at this age, at this place in the game is not at all what we envisioned or imagined. And not only that, there are protocols in place to protect us and protect others, which we want to abide by. And yet there's this resistance in us because we're thinking, wait a minute, you took my life, you took my dream. We're mad at somebody. We're mad at ourselves. We're mad at this disease. We're mad at the government. We're mad at the situation. There's not like a person we're blaming. It's just more like frustrating and confining. And so I say this, that I had to read my own book to get me out of that place. And that's how I know it will help a lot of people, because it helped me to get out of that place of crisis in myself. Number two, I became much more astute at connecting in a digital space, because it's not automatic just because we automate it on Zoom and Skype and FaceTime. And then number three, I've been working on this diligently, and I'm working on it now, and I feel the best about it that I have in this process, because it's been a process. I am allowing my dream and what was my dream city and my dream job to evolve, because a dream is supposed to shape shift. A dream is supposed to grow up, not stay the same as it was when you were 12 years old or 14 or 15. And I've been mentoring people at the same time. I've been getting more knowledge about this myself. You see, if we just are so married to what was, we can't step into this bright new thing that we didn't know existed. If we only experience and exhibit joy when things are going perfectly, but when we reach hardships, we give up, then how much hope do we really have? This was devastating. I don't want to say this is a silver lining. I want to say this is a purifying moment. This is a testing and trial by fire. This is going to really exhibit in us what our hearts really are saying. And what we need to say is, no matter what, if the world stops, if everything crashes around me, including the stock exchange, including Wall Street, including my portfolio, including my economy, I am still not going to quit, because I know that I'm made for this time. I know that I cannot be duplicated. And I know that if I'm meant to be here at this point in history, then there is a way up and a way out.
God, that's beautiful. I might have to put that on loop and just play it over.
Your morning pep talk.
Again, because, I heard someone say, and you talk about the dreams, and I heard someone say that their dream had been deferred. And I turned around and thought, no, your dream is being defined. Your dream is being honed. Yes. Your dream is being made into a diamond, because it's being crushed and it is being perfected. And out of incredibly difficult, hard things, my gosh, look at childbirth, how hard that is, but look what happens.
That's exactly it, Rob. Yes, that's what I've been telling people, because I'm like, the pain of childbirth, you're the baby's inside, and then you go through this rapid transformation. And we've been seeing so much rapid change at one time, affecting everything in our lives, socially, economically, our health, our cultural experience, our personal relationships, everything. And then out comes the baby. Mm-hmm. And we don't know what the baby's going to look like.
If you love life, you're just transformed.
Well, and everything changes, and nothing stays the same after you have a baby. And again, we use these analogies as a way to fuel us into a new perspective, because without a new perspective, we really cannot step into another zone. We can't be the solution bearers that the world is asking us to be right now. People want solutions. People are looking for hope. They're, like your mama said, their eyes are crying out for some kind of connection. And I just believe that, like you said, the dream being defined instead of deferred, that's beautiful. I mean, what is the alternative?
Yeah.
Because am I going to quit? I can't go back. There's no going back. This is a major defining moment for all of us. And I have learned this in my life from a child. I've learned this from my grandparents, who saw far more adversity than I did, that adversity has the ability to make you stronger. And so let's not flinch. Let's face it, and let's become stronger by it instead of being defeated by it.
That's beautiful. Let's not flinch. That's another great, I call it a Bankert. Take that one to the banker. Take that one to the banker. I like that.
I'll take it.
I like that. I want to read the second part of the title of your book because it's so powerful. The Hidden Superpower, and then underneath it is the kindness that makes you unbeatable at work and connects you with anyone. And I want to say to anyone right now that when I hear the words unbeatable at work and connects you with anyone, really what I hear you saying is that it is everything.
Yes.
Because if you can apply it at work and you can apply it in your life, then you have married your authentic self with what you do.
Yeah, you got it exactly. I hope everybody is like Rob and sees that, because
Is that right?
that's exactly what my intention was, because I wanted to cover, we're a whole person. And I think that corporations and companies need to be more holistic, and have been kind of being like nudged to be that, but it's just like, now you have to decide to be that. I wanted to give people an understanding that work and life are all about kindness and connection. That your authentic self will never be defeated at work. If I defined myself based only on what I do at work, rather than my purpose when I'm there, then I can quit in my mind, then I can give up. But you can't ever give up on your purpose. You can, it just doesn't work.
About your authentic self. And that's what you mean by unbeatable. Because when you're being authentic, you can't defeat it.
Mm-mm.
And it's not a win or lose thing.
No.
It's what's right, not who's right.
Yes, Robbie. Yes, like you get it.
But your book really helps. Your book details it. It is a roadmap to where we can grow, where we can go, where we can lead through problems, and where we can walk into the next chapter of the unknown. The chapter 10 in the book is about resilience.
Yeah.
And it's so important to apply to where we are in this world today. What has your book taught you during this time, specifically about resilience?
Wow. That my answers that I've used for my wisdom, for my path that I've gained from others, are not meant to be mine alone. That I have a responsibility, especially if someone's taught me how to be resilient, I am not to be selfish with that knowledge. It is up to me. Good. I know. Well, the thing is like we get help from people and it's like, okay, thank you for helping rescue me again. But when I provide, and this is another quote, because you said something about the quotes in the book, when I provide a life preserver to someone else, then I am lifted above the raging waters too.
For advice to leave people with right now, what would you say to someone who is sitting in an area of life where maybe they have not been kind and ultimately not been kind to themselves?
Well, the first advice I would give them is that you need to cheerlead yourself a bit. I know that might sound hokey or cheesy to you right now. Hopefully those aren't bad words. But I want you to give yourself a pep talk. One of the first things I did the year that I wrote this book is I sat on my bed. I was gloomy and frustrated about how my life was going. And I said, how would I act if everything was working out for me? Because I had worried so much. I had thought worst case scenario. Even while good things were happening to me, I was still trying to figure things out in my mind. And instead of using the energy to go to the worst case scenario or to try and architect a path that doesn't exist yet, I want you to be kind to yourself and imagine like you're in a movie. What would you do if everything was working out for you? How would you feel? And as I asked myself that, I thought, well, I'd feel really good. I'd be the happiest girl on the planet. And I'd be jumping up and down. And I'd say, this is the best day ever. And those are the three things that I started saying every day. I'm the happiest girl in the world. This is the best day ever. And I would say those things out loud, even if I was in a terrible mood. And then so I said them so much that people would say them back to me. And that was a little frustrating, honestly. I was like, stop talking to me and reminding me of my affirmation. But when I would say it, it literally brought a smile to my face and other people's face. And it shifted my brain from that negative, toxic thinking to expectancy and positive thinking, which cleared my head.
I wanted to tell you what the quote is that is sticking with me the
Okay.
most. And I'm having a hard time reading my own writing because but it's the quote about kindness will keep you sane. The cure for anger, frustration, or disappointment is kindness.
Yep.
And we have had 30 minutes of an example of kindness with you. Adrienne Bankert, I am so happy that your journey has taken you to where it is, and that if your dream ever feels deferred, may it just define.
I love that. It's beautiful, beautifully said. Thank you so much, Robin. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about this. Thank you for using your platform to make kindness famous.
Thank you, Adrienne. What a joy. It's so good to be with you. Adrienne Bankert joining us from New York City about her brand new book, Your Hidden Superpower, talking about kindness. Thank you, Adrienne.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yay.